So with the Timberwolves being eliminated, they're now the favorites to land Kevin Durant this offseason. We've seen Anthony Edwards in the past say Kevin Durant's the greatest ever, played together in the Olympics, got along well, won a gold medal together. And now with the Timberwolves, after doing a little retooling this past offseason, coming up short, and Anthony Edwards getting closer and closer to his prime years, and 2 years in a row getting to the conference finals but not be able to get over that hump, there's a good chance that they could be looking to get over that hump by bringing in Kevin Durant. And they actually do have the pieces to potentially, realistically, get it done. And now, contracts make it a little bit complicated. Not knowing whether Naz Reid is going to take his player option and come back. There seems to be a good chance that he will be out of town in Minnesota. And just not knowing whether there's going to be a third team involved, which normally there is to kind of make salaries work easier. Right now, to make actual trade machine trades, it's a little bit difficult. I'll go over the two that I have seen online that people have made that have worked because I tried, and to make it work is very difficult. And then just contract, types of trades that could happen that technically aren't exactly possible right now, but by getting a third team involved in the offseason, they should be able to get these types of deals done. And so I've seen one three-team deal popped up, proposed online, and that would be bringing the Mavericks in. For the Mavericks, they've been talking about getting rid of Daniel Gafford because, Anthony Davis is there, Derek Lively. There's not really room for all three of them probably, unless you want to only play Anthony Davis at the four, which he has talked about he doesn't like playing center, so maybe you'd be back, especially Lively gets hurt a lot. You never know. But for the Mavericks, it'd be an opportunity for them to bring in a couple role players. I don't see the Timberwolves trying to let Mike Conley go. It seems like Anthony Edwards and the guys there love him as a veteran leader. But I saw this one. I don't really want to touch on that one too much because it just seems a little wacky to me. But it would make sense for the Suns. You get a lot of different pieces. You get a young piece. You get a pick. I feel like it would actually kind of be a little bit much for the Timberwolves. But you could say, you still have your main pieces, McDaniels, Gobert, Anthony Edwards, possible. Another one I've seen is actually them giving up Gobert, and this one has given up Gobert, DiVincenzo, and Dillingham as a part of the trade, which would get the salaries pretty close to matching up. And so for me, I think the deal that makes the most sense is giving up your young pieces that you haven't really had a need for yet and aren't super high value with Julius Randle, who helps move the Suns right now. So I think a deal like Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo to the Suns, and then Dillingham and Shannon, and then also probably that 2025 first-round pick, I think that makes sense. I think that you could argue it's a bit much, but honestly not really when you consider Terrence Shannon and Dillingham are still very up in the air in terms of their future. Dillingham is a guy that, you don't want to give up on. A lot of guards struggle early, especially offensive guards. You look at Darius Garland's first year and getting drafted to a contender. It's going to be tough to show your worth, and he even did have a couple nice little moments in the regular season. He had a better rookie year than, say, Reed Shepherd. And Terrence Shannon even had a couple little moments in the playoffs to where, that's a decent little package of young guys, and then you could throw in a pick. Julius Randle could help you win right now, as well as Dante DiVincenzo. I think that would be a good move, decent move for the Suns at least, to get rid of Kevin Durant on a one-year deal. Not get much worse this year, bringing Julius and Dante and getting some young pieces. And then for the Timberwolves, I think you get off Julius Randle before his deal's done, and I think you're trading him at a high point. He had by far the best postseason of his career, by far the most winning basketball he's played of his career. And so I think that would be a good move for the Timberwolves, and then you kind of would have cap space to try and rebuild it the following year. I feel like next year would be like the last hurrah of the old guys around Ant, and then you retool it again because with that trade, you wouldn't be giving up too insane of a haul. 2 young assets, that is something, and a pick, that is something. But I think it would be worth to do to try and maximize the end of the Gobert years. And I know that might sound funny to some people because, Gobert has his moments that are pretty rough in the playoffs. But, he's still a valuable player on a big contract. So I think probably the last year of him being a really sturdy center that can come up big in some situations. And then you have Kevin Durant on that 1-year deal. And so I think you would go into it Conley probably his last year as well with the Timberwolves with kind of old man Conley, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Kevin Durant, Gobert. and then you try to just bring in some bench pieces. Then the following year, you'll have all types of money to spend around Anthony Edwards, and you'll still have a little bit of something around. You'll still, hopefully, they'll be able to bring back Nickeil Alexander-Walker. If they're not, they should at least be able to execute a sign and trade to get some assets back. So I think that makes sense for the Timberwolves to kind of fit that window of Mike Conley and Gobert, and then be able to start a new window after this year for Anthony Edwards, because you're not like throwing away too much of an insane worth. And Anthony Edwards with Kevin Durant gives you a shot. And for the Suns, you get a lot of pieces. If I'm the Suns GM, I'm probably looking to just get bona fide young pieces, but that's not a bad haul. Dillingham, Shannon, even a pick, and then Randall and Dante DiVincenzo for Kevin Durant, 38 years old on a one-year deal. That seems like a great move for me. Honestly, if I'm the Timberwolves, I'd really try to hold on to that pick. But if it came down to it, I think it would probably be worth doing. Take that shot. But let me know what you all think. Drop a comment, hit that like, and subscribe if you want to do that.